King Rastakhan, king of the Zandalari Empire for over 200 years. This guy has been one of my favorite characters in Battle for Azeroth. Everything from the superb voice acting to having great character development made him a joy throughout the campaign. Rastakhan has been a character we've heard about for a long time. Think how we didn't see Firelord Ozai in Avatar The Last Airbender till Season 3, but we always really just heard of him throughout the story. That's like King Rastakhan, we never really saw him until Battle for Azeroth. When we rescue Talanji and Zool from Stormwind, he allows us to stay in Zandalar and names the player character Speaker of the Horde.
Traits I admire. Talanji worries that I do not see our true enemies. Know that I am not as blind as she fears. Let us see if the Horde can prove its worth to Zandalar. Let them stay in the Great Seal as my guests. For now.
Only the Zandalari may walk those sacred halls. The law states.
The law is what I say it is, for so long as I am king. The eyes of the kingdom rest upon you, champion. This day, I name you Speaker of the Horde.
God, I love that cutscene. Something that's pretty badass about King Rastakhan too is when people tell him something, he just lays down the law right away. He lets them know that he is king of Zandalar. I love how at the start of the Zandalar campaign, Rastakhan's council tries to turn him against the Horde right away. Hell, Prophet Zool tries to overthrow him throughout Battle for Azeroth's initial launch questing. Throughout his confrontations with Prophet Zool, something tragic for Rastakhan was lost. His Loa Razan was slain and brought back, and you could fight him in Atal Dazar. With Rastakhan growing desperate without a Loa, he made a bargain with a Loa that a lot of players have come to like, however it's not very good for his bloodline, Bwonsamdi, the Loa of Death. Rastakhan bound his entire bloodline to Bwonsamdi because he felt it was the only way to stay in control of the situation around him. This did allow him to defeat Prophet Zool and hold off Mithrax, but the question that arises always is, was it worth it? So I think when we talk about King Rastakhan, one of the things that a lot of people bring up is, was his deal a good idea, or was it a mistake? Personally, I think given the circumstances, he had no other choice. How else was he going to fend off the blood trolls? Although if Rastakhan had listened to the Council of Talanji before this, none of this would have happened. With the spot that the king was in, he didn't really have much of a choice. He needed some sort of power to face off against the blood trolls. Obviously, cursing his whole bloodline for a temporary fix was a bad idea, but the fact that he actually went through with it is something I find very interesting for his character. At this moment, the only thing that Rastakhan is going to continue to spread is death.
Congratulations, Your Majesty. The kingdom is ours.
Before the Battle of Dazar'Alor, King Rastakhan is tricked by the Alliance into sending his forces into Nazmir during the war campaign. This leaves the king as vulnerable as it gets during the Battle of Dazar'Alor. He ends up invoking the Blood Moon ritual in a desperate attempt to save his city. Unfortunately, the Alliance strike at the heart of the city and end up ending Rastakhan's reign. At the beginning of this encounter, he calls upon Bwonsamdi for aid. The two of them fight you for a while, but towards the end of the fight, Bwonsamdi abandons him to let him die. His final moments with Talanji were sad. Fighting Rastakhan was honestly enough to make me sad. I don't think he was ever a man with bad intentions, just ignorant to what was going on around him. I think in the end, Rastakhan did end up showing a lot of regret for his actions, even if he did mean good by them. It's explored even during the encounter where he starts apologizing to Talanji for the pact that he made with Bwonsamdi, even before the end of the fight. He says that he feels death around him, that the darkness is consuming him. In the cinematic too, you can see how much that Bwonsamdi's power really ages Rastakhan. It's a double-edged sword, it's a temporary fix. Talanji's character arc was that she would do what her father would not, but I think having Rastakhan be a likable character makes her arc work all the better. Talanji tried to warn him of the blood trolls in the north, but he failed to listen. Vol'jin even said she stepped up where her father didn't. Talanji is a great successor to her father, and I'm excited to see where her character goes. But for me, Rastakhan will always be one of the most memorable characters in Warcraft lore. He was one of my favorite parts of Battle for Azeroth's jumbled lore, and I'm pretty sad he's gone now. A question a lot of people ask me is what did I think of his death, and I think they probably couldn't have handled it any better way. He's a tragic character, and I think it's sad that he went. Some people even call him evil, and they're glad that he's gone. Although this is a totally different character, think Garrosh Hellscream, all the discussion that he caused during Mists of Pandaria and Warlords of Draenor. Hell, I still see people talking about Garrosh now, and I think Rastakhan's gonna have that same long-term discussion. Some people I've read on the forums would have liked to see Rastakhan remain king of the Zandalari instead of Talanji. I think that would have been interesting had Talanji not existed as a character, but I think Princess Talanji as a character really works quite well, and I'm excited to see what Blizzard does with her in the future. While a lot of people do disagree with Rastakhan, and upon second playthrough, the questing does make him look quite foolish at times. I think Blizzard needs to make more characters like this. It's a damn shame that we don't have more characters that make flawed choices like this, because some might say this is actually morally gray, unlike Sylvanas Windrunner, which is morally evil. And I think that's a lesson we need to take from King Rastakhan. I think we're all human, and sometimes under pressure we all make poor choices, even if we think they're right at the time. And that's a great storyline that they had shown in Battle for Azeroth. Blizzard, if you take anything from this character, continue to make awesome characters like this, because I think that's the strength in World of Warcraft. We've had a lot of good characters in Battle for Azeroth, and personally I think Rastakhan was the one they did best. He was a character that had a clear direction and a clear arc, and that's something I really have to give Blizzard credit for. Because a lot of characters this expansion really don't have a clear direction, and it's really hard to read what the heck they're actually thinking. Some of them that openly rebelled against Vol'jin are helping Sylvanas, and I kind of scratch my head thinking, why would they do something like that? The last thing I'm going to talk about in this video is, do I think the Alliance were justified in fighting King Rastakhan? And the answer is no, I actually don't think they were, but I also think that's a great story point, because at the same time they thought they were, because the Zandalor have been kind of in cahoots with the Horde, so they thought that was going to break the ties with them. Unfortunately for you Alliance folk out there, Queen Talanji is the one that actually wants to join the Horde, so oh yeah, we lost the whole Battle of Dazar'Alor, let's forget about that. So guys, what did you think of King Rastakhan? I'm personally sad to see him go, and I'm gonna miss this character a lot from World of Warcraft's lore. Although his presence will always be there when I level an alt in Battle for Azeroth. If there's a character you guys would like me to cover next, please let me know in the comments below and I'd be glad to do it. Also, I want to hear what you guys thought of King Rastakhan. Was he a favorite? Did you like him? Did you hate him? And we'll see you next time.